Loungtastic. Lounge it up. Relax. To hear what others think of the show, head over to Facebook.com, official Loungtastic. To follow us on social media, head over to Loungtastic.com to see our social media links. And for more about the shows as they air, and to see bonus episodes, become a premium member over at Patreon.com/Loungtastic. That's Patreon.com/Loungtastic. Hey everyone, happy holidays. Welcome to Loungtastic, a show about all that's amusing in the world. News, entertainment, and whatever. I'm Lawrence from Loungtastic.com. Joining me is a man who's worked beside me at 6 months and has put up with my zany antics.
From Loungtastic.com, I'm Mo.
What we hope to do is entertain you and have you coming back for more. We're on episode 11 here where I love the sun rises in the morning here. Oh, it looks so cool. Wiz has just made Malia lead deckhand, and nobody knows about it yet, other than Wes and Malia.
I thought it was like unnecessary for there to be a time where no one knew that Malia was lead deckhand. She received the position. First of all, I thought first it was unusual that the captain didn't make the decision of the mate hierarchy. So that first to that, and no one knew that it was going to be Wes that was going to make the decision. Such a unwavering environment being on a reality show, knowing that you're just going to have to argue with someone. Those weights, why don't they just get heavier weights? Just because they don't want to lift heavier weights off of the mattress?
Heavier weights off of the what?
The little mat. There's been 3 episodes where you see the shot of the mat being turned over because the weights aren't heavy enough.
Yeah.
And you see the weights fly off and stuff. Why don't they just get heavier weights?
That might solve the problem, yeah.
They just don't want to lift heavy weights.
When we're on our vacation, we're not going to lift over 10 pounds.
That whole thing could have happened in one room. It could have been Sandy has everybody together, and she asks right there, she would ask Wes who he would name lead deckhand, and then he would be able to present his case in a way of that's a great question. I would like to talk about my crew and all the things that they have been doing this charter thus far, because we've had kind of a difficult charter.
Yeah, and that last cliffhanger we had was crazy because Wiz didn't really want to pick a deckhand and a lead deckhand, and the captain was like, "Well, Wes, you're gonna have to," and that's hard. It seems like he's a new leader. He's in his early 20s. He might be his first leadership job, so he's basically thrown for a loop. But if he would have had some time to think about it with the situation with him dating Malia or engaging in a sexual relationship with her,
just knowing that he's gonna be the one that's gonna be scrubbing the poop deck.
Yeah, and so he went ahead and just said, "Malia, she's been showing a lot of promise." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" If you look, even
we
the
thought
clip,
it was supposed to be Bobby. I thought it would be Bobby, right?
Definitely.
It would make sense for it to be Bobby, but for whatever reason, if we looked at it strictly from the sense of work environment, then we would be having to agree to Wes hiring Malia, because he was the dude that was the guy that was put in charge of making that decision, and he just thought it was Malia. He didn't do it. He might have not considered Bobby's experience. He was just really doing it in a sense of in a charter sense, and just we're just gonna have this charter, so I'm gonna make Malia the lead deckhand on this charter. And that's how he was thinking about it, just in a very short term. He wasn't thinking about Bobby's experience, and he just chose Malia because he thought she would be a person who would be more enjoyable at a leader position. Maybe he thought she would be more relaxed than Bobby. He may have thought that Bobby was maybe gonna not be a good lead deckhand. You know, and after Malia becomes lead deckhand, she still runs into like a situation where she ends up feeling as her position isn't doing anything for her. Like, she's gets in an argument with Bobby about something that she feels like disrespected. It's gonna be all types of things happening. Look, there it is again. The wind knocking over the weights and flipping the mat. One day they're gonna lose that mat, and then it's gonna be like, oh man, you know how much it costs to replace a mat off this yacht? That mat was made out of Italian goat skin.
Alright, so what we saw in the last episode is the captain said to Wes, hey, pick somebody. And Wes is like, oh, I picked Malia. And he went up and told her, and her response was kind of interesting. Lit up and said, I'm honored. And I'm thinking, what? Like, seriously, no matter how much you like her, you can't just pick somebody because they're having a relationship with you, you know? You gotta pick somebody because they're good. And there's plenty of other people that are better.
That's supposed to be not it. She's Bobby says that she's a good worker. So it's not like she is blatantly like a bad choice for lead deckhand. She's less experienced than Bobby. But the choice really was between was it her first boat or something, or her first charter?
She was pretty new. They didn't mention
a green. What is a green?
Green means that you're new. So this is her face lighting up here. She is just
elated.
She is elated. That's a perfect way to say it, Mo. And she says, I'm honored. She's probably surprised, you know, because she's really new.
I would say she's surprised. They're standing on whatever part of the boat in the middle of the night.
Right.
And like, hey, by the way, you're lead deckhand. It was amazing. Like, why is it then? Why wasn't it next morning in the morning meetings? It's just so like it takes effect that morning.
Right.
And
kind of intimate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then he says it's your voice they're going to have to listen to. Yeah, it's your voice they're going to have to listen to. Wow, they're going to have to listen to voices from two people they despise.
They don't like Wes?
No. There was some tension with with them.
Yeah, dude, he got really bummed out at the end of this episode after him and Adam got in a scuffle. He got really bummed out.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff was really, you could see he's like a very cool dude, very outgoing and stuff, and it shows in the way that he works and the interacts with people and stuff. And after that happened, he was really like completely a separate kind of type person. We had never seen him, so he was like kind of scared, you know? He got really flushed and stuff.
So in this scene, we have Captain Sandy mention that they're dragging anchor, and they can't have that. You know, that's dangerous. The winds are real high, and we could hear from that fruity music that something was going down. You know, it sounded like horror movie music. And
you know,
Sandy's
speaking of horror movie music, you know that the music that was made for the movie The Witch was made by this one guy who had a instrument custom made to make horror movie music, to make it sound the way that he was looking for. He had to custom make an instrument. He had some dude, and it wasn't the first time using it. He used it again in this movie in the 90s. I can't remember the name, but he went out to this guy who makes guitars, and he told him, and the guy thought it was a good idea. And they put something together, and it makes a lot of different sounds. It makes knocking sounds, ringing sounds, squeaking sounds. So that was custom made.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to look that word up.
So what about horror movie music? Back to the...
Yeah. So what it looks like, I think the captain asked Hannah to deliver the bad news. And then what we're seeing here is Hannah's like, hey, we just can't be out here. We got to move it back to the dock. It's safer. And the primary charters looked at her right in the face and was like, well, you better make it up to us.
Yeah,
So-
I see the boat. Once the boat gets moving, it's really late at night.
Yeah, well, they were going to stay there out in the water for the night. But, they can't control the weather.
No, can't. And no fun swimming in cold water.
And one of the other primary charter here, the man with, I forgot his name, with the beard, he's kind of chill about things, They pay a lot of money to go on this, and the yacht broker is expecting to see some, top-notch activity, luxury, and to be spoiled. And this whole point is to be a seafaring adventure.
It's Yacht Week.
Oh, it's Yacht Week? I didn't know it was
Yeah.
Shark Week last week. Because Michael Phelps was racing that shark.
Yeah, what happened to it? I didn't watch it.
What happened?
I know
Oh,
it was
man. It was a travesty. Michael Phelps was supposed to race a shark, and they made such a big deal about the promotion of it. And for weeks ahead of Shark Week, they had these commercials on that got you really motivated to watch it. Mm-hmm. And people were like, organizing Shark Week parties and being all together to enjoy something cool. Because, Shark thing's cool. People like Shark Week, but they added Michael Phelps to the mix. And him versus a shark looked really cool. And the way they described it was Michael was going to swim next to, side by side, and there would be a net separating him from the shark. And so people got already.
That's kind
everyone
of
tuned
tough,
in.
don't you think? That's really difficult, don't you think?
Yeah, and do sharks always swim straight?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like
How you gonna get a shark in a pool or something and with a net with Michael Phelps or something?
Well, they're in some form of bay, and we're getting ready. The anticipation's up, and what do we see? We see Michael jump in, and next to him, surprise, a CGI shark, a computer-generated shark. So, we see the shark race Michael, and they have the music.
Hey, dude, were you gonna eat any of this?
No. They have the music, and they have the shark. Michael jumps in, and it's like da na na na, and they had the menu screen come up at the end, and it showed the results of the race. It went, and it showed the shark won by half a second or whatever.
Wow.
And we're looking at it. And when I first saw it, I thought it was a real shark. They did a really good job with it, but if you're gonna say Michael Phelps is racing a shark, you should have him race a shark.
Seriously, man, that's unacceptable.
So people took to Twitter and expressed their outrage.
I didn't even see anything about it. Can you believe all the people I follow on Twitter? I didn't hear about this outrage.
Believe me, dude, there was outrage from all the
Right now.
all the shark enthusiasts. We're like, come on, man, we expected a real shark.
Can't believe this. I feel now. I know what that guy feels like when he was filming The Hobbit.
Yeah.
In that green screen, and he was just like, "What the hell is going on?" It's the same. That's how I feel right now.
That's funny.
No, it wasn't that funny, dude. That guy was really sad.
Oh, he was sad?
Yeah.
About what?
About what was going on. He was filming The Hobbit, and he was in this green screen, and he was like, "Man, this isn't what I started acting for." And he was like, "Can't believe this." Like, you know what I mean? He was just like, think about and what kind of mental state does this guy have to be in, where he's in the middle of filming and he just gets furious and gets really affected by his work environment, where he was break down more or less. So it must be hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and is he reacting to things that aren't there?
I don't know. he was just like, I wanted to hear him more. I would want to know more of what he would have to say about it, what he was really feeling at the moment, because he's like a veteran actor. He's been acting for, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Who is he?
I don't know his name, but I know of the situation. Something about a green screen in The Hobbit.
The guy that plays Gandalf, right? Or not that guy?
I don't know.
We ought to look it up.
I wasn't a fan of any of that Hobbit stuff.
We ought to look
Don't regret it.
Yeah, because that actor's a good guy. That's a really good actor.
Yeah. We'll have to look it up in a minute. So here we have Samantha acting like she's really upset because I guess she expected water toys and everything. And this just came to mind. They're yacht brokers. They could look up the weather. They know about this kind of stuff. They have to know that the weather is going to be messed up. So, I mean, you have to get some kind of forecast going on. So
They probably don't go on a lot of these vacations.
Well, no, but it's still, you're a yacht broker. You should check the weather. And don't have your expectations so high, because I'm sure you've heard worse horror stories. And for them to act like it's such a big deal, kind of unnecessary. So they ask Lauren here. They say, they're taking care of them. They're cleaning up after them, doing their sheets, doing their laundry, cleaning the boat, getting the meals ready. And what does Samantha say? Oh, hey, can you guys also massage our bodies? Like, come on. They're basically already your slaves. And Lauren's response is great. Lauren was like, well, we can book you people who will massage your bodies.
Yeah, that was Lauren. Who was it said that?
Good job. Because, their job is to never say no. And you can't say no to a guest on the ship.
And the guest asked to have a massage, which is a great time for her to be like, wow, what a great idea. Let me book you a fantastic massage.
Yeah.
And then bang, like, she'd be like, wow, man, you're right. A massage would be amazing right now. Because who would not want, like... I would enjoy a massage on a boat and, like, it's like the hole in the log and the frog in the bottom of the sea, dude.
They're on damage control now. And if you remember from the dinner in the middle of the night, I don't know why they're eating at midnight, but the primary said, you better make this up to us, with that finger in the air, like, you better make that up to us. Basically, they're on damage control. They're trying to retain their tip here, and they're trying to figure something out. I guess the best they could come up with is a tour of this old-timey castle type thing.
Yeah, the city. Whatever city they're in.
Right.
They do a tour of, they just do a tour of, like, a very populated, like, you could see, everyone, they're walking around and the place is hella crowded. There's so many people around them. This is like a bustling post, basically. And I thought, and I'm going to say this, I thought that part of the show was super underplayed. Like, they sped it up and stuff. Like, I know it's Bravo. I'm not looking for anything serious. But, man, just leave that part in. That'd be nice. That's a great little piece that you could have. Like, give it 5 minutes of just some, like, history talking about it. But maybe it really, though, like, if Bravo does that, everyone would flip the channel. That's something else. They'd be like, oh, I wonder what else.
No, I totally agree with you. Like, when they're doing that, the spiel on history, I'd kind of want to hear it, And they show the passage of time as being kind of like, it's boring, so the people are bored and everything. And we don't really know how long it took them to get bored, but they could have threw a little history in other than the Christians were prosecuted.
Paganism.
Yeah.
This used to be a sewer.
Yeah. When they said this used to be a sewer, I was like, what? Like,
and that's the end of the tour.
When have you ever been on a tour and they said, oh, by the way, welcome to New York City, and you're standing in a sewer?
That's part of the, hey man, New York ain't ruins. There's history though.
Yeah.
I have never been to, I used to live in a really old city. I used to live in Old Cairo. Old Egypt.
Old Egypt, okay.
That's where I lived there. And I've been to New Egypt and stuff like that. And those are kind of... So those... I see ruins... I used to see ruins often. There's not many ruins now in Illinois, but of course there is because, you're walking through the city of Chicago and you're seeing buildings that were built, like, middle 1800s and stuff. So in that sense of history... That's the history that is around us. And then when you're watching Below Deck and you want to watch some stuff about French Croatia.
You know, and earlier we saw Malia talking to Bobby. She was trying to soften him up for what was coming, impending doom. She felt guilty. She knows she's not the
Most experienced person. That's her
Yeah.
only. That's the only difference between her and Bobby, is that Bobby has more experience on her, but it's not even like a ridiculous amount of experience or whatever. But anyways, Bobby is more experienced. He is an older person. Stuff like that. It's not just a big differentiation. What if he put Max as lead deckhand? What if Max was like the Michael Jordan of the yachting industry?
Yeah.
And Wes saw that early and he was like, man, I have to get this guy started as soon as possible. And he had to make Max lead deckhand, and Max became lead deckhand, and then 2 charters later, he was a captain. And then,
Ooh.
oh, right, this guy's putting up numbers like no one's ever seen before.
Hey, it's possible. But I do remember, I follow it much closer than you do because I'm like a below deck nerd. But Max hasn't been on a yacht before. This is Max's first time. I really thought that when the captain said pick somebody that's really going further, I thought that it would be Max or Bobby, because I don't see it out of Malia in the clips that they've shown.
I guess I'm gonna start watching Malia and what she does more closely now, because I want to see her be a lead deckhand.
Oh, right on.
This is the part where little baby leaves the boat.
Little baby leaves the boat. Yeah, you know, and this is weird because she thought she was starting some kind of petition to really show them, like, hey, I'm leaving, and she thought everyone would jump on the bandwagon. But in actuality, nobody else booked a flight out of there.
If
Everyone
everybody
else
left, if they all left right now, they'd get a refund. They would get a refund if they had all followed her lead.
No, there's no refunds. They
No
mentioned that.
refunds?
They said no refunds there.
Never.
Yeah, this is not like a cruise where it's like Royal Caribbean and you might hire a lawyer and pay the lawyer fees and get out of it. This is some really strict contract stuff. And you know, that girl's trying to make a stand, but when she's walking away with her luggage, all I can see is somebody who's abandoning her friends, and she's not very smart. And you know, what does that say about her, that she would just leave like that?
She's in a hurry. She's unorganized.
Yeah.
Hey, she said she had something to do, man. She had something to do. You know, they weren't going out. She's like, man, where's the fucking blow?
She's like, I can take this party to freaking Germany. We'll go to Berlin.
Oh, yeah. That was probably more her thing. That's why she left off.
Yeah. See, that's what makes it a little bit gray area, because they were making out in the wheelhouse. And this was funny because
She got her first mate uniform right there. Lauren gives her first lead deckhand uniform. I gotta get these massages. Look.
That's fine.
Why don't they have a scene of them getting massages? Look, right now they just have a scene of Max being cold, Lauren walking around. There's Hannah just putting on her. Oh, there you go. And then here's Lauren and Hannah talking about Malia and Wes making out. And then Hannah just found out.
Lauren's like,
Well, you didn't hear it from me, but here is the latest gossip.
and then this is the first time. Yeah,
They
this is the
should
first
totally do like
time we see Hannah just kind of drop out of being a leader, and she just goes into
look at
full
this. She
high
doesn't
school
look like Hannah
mode.
right there, bro. Look at her. She doesn't even look like Hannah. She's so elated, like she's so turned up. You see the shot. This shot, like,
Oh, it's different. It's different. Yeah.
she's so much. She's like, oh my freaking.
I love all the rules written on the wall there, and then the important rules are highlighted. I'm like, what? Do we really need all these rules?
Yeah, dude. Did you remember? You saw those the work orders that we have hung up in the ice machine?
So Adam had some charcuterie that he made. So I'm proud of Adam. Good job, man. Busted a nut tonight. You got it out. You didn't make soup. You actually abided by their preferences. You know, if I'm paying 6 figures, you better abide by the preferences. Even out of spite. And you admitted it was out of spite. You said that right to everyone in the main living room there, that it was out of spite. That you added onions anyway, even though the primary did not want onions added. Another couple times, I remember, because Wiz was basically talking about how he's learning about how Adam's attitude is. He's like, well, Adam added onions to the soup out of spite.
Adam doesn't have to work with Wes.
Oh, they work in the same boat.
Do you think Wes serves food? You never see him serving food.
No, Wes doesn't, but in this scene, what has he got his finger in his mouth for? Max has his finger in his mouth.
He's digging around for Nesquik.
He's digging around for something.
He just had Nesquik cereal.
And Bobby finally lets it out, because we've seen him at the beginning. He was like, I'm cool with that. That's awesome. You promoted Malia. Oh, the new girl got promoted. And he's like overcompensating for his inner rage. And Max, this was a nice clip right here when Max was like, come here, Wiz, give me a kiss. I want to be a promoted person. I thought that was funny. And Bobby's digging in. He's like, yo, I gave up a career as a firefighter. Do you know how hard it is to be a firefighter?
And Wes doesn't know.
Wes was like, Malia really went further. She really stuck herself out, yielded herself to me in ways that a boss liked.
Well, I'm glad, man. It's whatever. He'll become lead deckhand next season. Bobby's going to become a captain one day. Because he actually likes yachting enough to do it. He's like, it's not firefighting, it's yachting. I like it.
Right.
He worked with a good captain in that, the dude right before this one.
Yeah.
On that boat with Danny. Seeing that handled, that's great experience.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Bobby could definitely be somebody who would be captain. Brian, too. Brian
was a captain.
He was captain?
He was captain before we saw that part. So he said he was a captain of a 150-some-odd foot ship, and when Mark started out, Mark's like, I know you've been a captain before, but hang out, I'm the captain, let's see where this goes.
Nice. He could be like a captain of like a freighter and make lots of money, because I'm sure that he'd make a lot of money with it.
I got $150 million worth of Hondas. I've got a ship to Japan. Man, that's a lot of cars.
Yeah, Brian would handle being a captain pretty well. So knowing that he has already been a captain.
One thing I noticed is that's a really small hot tub. On other ships on this show, from previous seasons, they've had bigger hot tubs, more space, and that would be really important to me, especially bringing multiple guests here. Because unless it was just me and my significant other, hot tub is just way too damn small.
Yeah, it definitely has to be a more impressive hot tub.
So here's Bobby letting it out, having his tantrum again. He's like, and then they're on the deck, and then this happened, and then Malia was like, you can say it to my face.
And, I don't know. He already talked to he talked to Buzz about it. I don't know why he.
Bobby's like, I got nothing against your work ethic. Pretty good, but the fact that you all are like having relations, that's messed up. I should be the lead deckhand. Malia's like, so basically you're saying because I'm a cute female, I can't have enough work ethic.
That's right. Those two things are separate. The fact that she's banging the boss and the fact that she became lead deckhand are two separate things.
Right. Well, it could be.
There you go, Wes taking captain action.
Now this would kind of piss me off because that's kind of like my little zone down there. I don't need to be told what to do in my little zone.
True.
Max is over there laughing. I see he's laughing. So then we see a part here where Adam comes in and he found out about it a little bit earlier than the other people on the ship. And so now he makes his little shark sneak attack in there, and he's in the wheelhouse, and he comes in and he's like, well, since we all made out in here, what's going to be the next deal that we all do? And, and this was, and Lauren had to tell him. I love how Lauren always has a disclaimer, how she's like, you didn't hear it from me, because I never gossip, but basically, Malia and I made out in the wheelhouse.
Is it going to be you doing an impression of people? Because I don't like doing impressions of those people.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then Wiz was... and then Wiz kissed Malia in the wheelhouse. He made her lead deckhand. So Adam's taking all this in, and the pot is boiling now. Adam is starting to boil over.
Charter over finally.
Yeah.
I wonder where they find a place to do those close-ups, those confession shots.
That's at the end. That's way at the end.
Mm.
And there's hints too. Like I noticed Adam was like, "Well, I tried to be a great guy while I was on the ship." Like, I don't know about that. Now, that's a pretty decent sized envelope. Look how wrinkly it is, though. Were they debating how much they were going to do, and they kept going in and out of his pockets? Thanks, Nadine. I guess maybe Mark Cronin, the producer of the show, or Nadine, another producer, left these scenes in of these people changing. It's interesting, but it leads me to wonder why. Like, are you trying to show some exhibitionism just to attract people to the show? Max generally looks disinterested. I don't know if I can expect to see him on another show like this again, or on a yacht.
Yeah, taking up all the rope. Oh, there you go, bouncy ball. And we're sailing.
That'd be cool if that's how fast they go. I have a suspicion that they sped that up a little bit.
I want more shots of the boat sailing.
Me too. I totally agree.
Beautiful, dude.
Isn't that nice? And the chef even has a nice view. I think I would like be sitting down a lot, just so I could look out the window.
Yep. There's the chef inside the sailing room.
Like Randy Orton, like that snake. And he's in there, and he's basically like, "Well, since we all made out in here,
since everybody here made out." And then whoever was standing on the tip of the boat at the time comes in, like, "Oh yeah, everybody here did make out."
Yeah, and they're just talking about nautical things, like they're talking about like 3 clicks to the left or whatever, and Malia's like, "I didn't play anybody. I like you guys, and I said I liked you, and maybe we kissed. Maybe my tongue was down every guy's mouth on the
There was
ship."
only 2. It was Adam and
You're right.
and Wes. She didn't make out with Bobby first.
Yeah.
She could have. That would have been the thing that would have made this okay, is if she went for Bobby and then Wes, and then we found out that she had made out with Adam. Or
that would have been embarrassing, though. I mean, man. And one thing that I noticed on here that you might notice is if this was an office gathering, this would be sexual harassment, especially in that episode we saw about 3 or 4 episodes ago, where basically Adam mouth rapes Malia after she just made out with Wes. Like he pulls her in forcibly and kisses her, and it's on camera. It looks like it's the camera they were on.
Hannah and Malia kissed already earlier.
There was like some
it's strong
girl
man.
on girl stuff. Yeah,
they kissed. You see them kiss, and like who knows how much they did off camera, but definitely dancing and holding.
Exactly. It was cool. I liked every minute of it. Malia's loose. She's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know if I should call her loose, but she's...
in the beginning, when everybody's like still okay with each other, everyone's such a fun person, and then everything gets so personal, and it takes away from the fun of everyone being more at ease and less stressed out and stuff like that.
Now, in this scene, it irritated me how Adam is just taking everything off his shoulders and dropping it on Bugsy. Yeah, and Bugs. And Bugsy's eyes are wide open, and I think she likes gossip as much as Lauren does.
He doesn't like gossip. Gossip, anybody will sit there and listen to gossip.
Well, Max seems to like dip out.
Yeah, but he gets into it as well. But it's because
we didn't know that yet. We're not at that part yet.
It happens around him.
This whole season, we're on episode. I think this is 11. I don't know. Oh yeah, this is episode 11. So.
Took him 11 episodes to pick a lead deckhand.
But when he lets out, and that was
they were operating under the sense that Bobby was already lead deckhand, weren't they?
Nobody was lead deckhand. They're just kind of going with the flow. I didn't know, even with all the seasons I've watched this, I didn't know that somebody had to become a lead deckhand. It's kind of something that you earn. It was just, I kind of go with the flow of this, like, okay, if that's how it is, that's how it is. What I'd like to say is this part where they're all getting ready. You see the girls with their hair, and the guys walking around, getting dressed, and kind of jostling each other a little bit. Like, it's cool to think that after all that work you did, all those long days that you put in, you get to go out and let loose and have fun, even with your coworkers.
Yes, gotta be a great time.
And you're out in Greece, and you're just there to have a good time. The old college thing to do is have an Irish car bomb with the boys, kind of a fraternity thing. Like you drop the Jameson and the Guinness, and you got to drink it before it curdles, and it gives you a nice buzz. I had to drink 2 or 3 of them. I remember on a cruise one time in Carnival, I took a couple Irish car bombs because you had to. People are doing it, so you just be part of the group.
I like Guinness and I like Bailey's.
Yeah.
And I like Jameson.
I kind of wish we had some tonight.
Dude,
we're going to have to
no
get some
way.
followers here so we can afford booze.
Yeah, I don't know about doing it while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
How many Irish car bombs I'll be?
I did the 3rd one, and I remember the ship was like rocking so slowly, but 90-degree angles. Everything was moving crazy. So that's like what they're at right now. And here comes Wes, because he was hanging with the girls. The girls went one way, the boys went the other. But
He should have just taken Malia and left.
He doesn't want to really mess with Malia anymore. He realizes it was a mistake to make that happen. Like he really should have picked somebody else. Maybe just pick Max so that nobody really gets bent out of shape.
You should have just picked Bobby and had a relationship with Malia for the rest of the boat, because that would have been fine and simple.
Yeah.
And good for him. He gets whatever he wanted to be with the girl. He has a girlfriend for the rest of the boat ride. And that's fine, and that's the show. But instead, it gets really complicated for them.
Yeah.
So
and then I love his explanation. I picked Malia because she really sticks herself out there. She goes further than anyone I know. I was like, man, all these are sexual euphemisms.
He's a big dude. Bobby's a big guy, and he can drink a lot, man.
Maybe his game, get him
Wes
drunk,
is tiny,
so that he could throw a tantrum again.
dude.
I
The
thought
Irish car. Oh, look, it was an Irish bar from wherever they are. Are they in Greece?
No, they're in Greece, yeah. I can't remember the town. They started out in Split, and I'm not sure if they're. I kind of think they're back in Split because that's where they had to drop them off at. One thing I thought was weird was when Wes does meet up with the boys, he's walking into the pub, and as he's walking in, Adam is sucking his 2nd or 3rd Irish car bomb, and he goes, "Hey, try not to fuck Malia while you're in there." And
As long as you don't get drunk enough to have sex with Malia.
yeah, you're drunk enough to have sex. I don't think you have to be drunk to have sex with Malia.
That square that they're in is so pretty, and then they just get in a fight.
And then you look around, it looks like people are just taking pictures in the background of the city. You know what I mean? Like, I'm comparing to the fight. Like there's a city, and then there's this fight happening. This is like the Mayweather versus McGregor fight, and they're like taking pictures of the castle still, like the arches and everything. Just me personally, I love to see a good fight. I like to see two guys throw down and just.
Well, all right. I've never seen that. I've tried to break up fights.
I've seen fights in Europe. The worst fight I ever saw was in Berlin, and it was on a pub crawl. Because everyone gets wasted, everyone's shit-faced, and it's always over a girl. And I remember seeing these guys wailing on each other in an alleyway. At first, I was having a good time, but then I was thinking, man, somebody's going to get seriously hurt here. Then they just kind of stopped fighting, and I was like, cool.
Yep.
Somebody says some shit about a girl or whatever, or about his car,
Yeah.
or about his tattoo. So I really liked Malia until the 3rd time she called herself cute. That got on my
Is it this
nerves.
episode? We're watching previews right now? I feel so bad that it was ruined for Malia and Wes.
Yeah. Well, you gotta understand, Adam is the guy she has fun with, and Wes is the guy a girl should bring home to her parents.
Man, she says that she doesn't, that she, like, wants to be single. You see that? He threw a punch. Wes threw a punch, like a very clean punch.
I didn't notice. I've looked at that a few times now. I have not seen that. It looked like a slap to me, but they're all mic'd up because they're on the show, and you hear the underwear rip. You hear, shh, and then you see them kind of slapping each other. You know, kind of push slapping each other.
Yeah.
And then Adam got in his face. Wes turned around and slapped the phone out of his hand. And Malia mentioned earlier that she had 5 brothers. And she's probably used to them doing that, and roughhousing and everything. And Wes seems more like he's not used to that.
Yeah.
Malia's got it down, like so. And then we're in the fight sequence here, and man, I really thought Wes was gonna cry here. And his voice is cracking, and his
There you go, Hannah taking the leadership position.
yeah. Well, Well, Hannah and Bobby got in between them, and Bobby had a big smile on his face. I mean, they're halfway trashed.
Yeah, still know that you're on the job. It's your day off.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, they're not.
There's Bugs' shirt says drama.
It says drama. She's ready for it. I actually got that just for the show. I didn't notice that. Good call, man. And he's one crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, he's just a drunk old dude.
He put onions in the soup out of spite.
Yeah, that is pretty ridiculous. Who the heck are you to take such action?
Yeah.
Wes opening the door for Hannah.
I mean, what a gentleman.
Don't forget your
noticed
manners.
that right away.
Keep your manners too.
Well, Wes wasn't drinking too. I was trying to say, even though you're drunk, keep your manners.
They have really small rooms.
They do.
I was gonna say I'd bring a PlayStation or something.
Would you?
Man, even a laptop would be too much.
You know, in all the seasons they've had about 9 seasons now altogether, including Caribbean and Mid, and I've never seen a gaming system
TV
at all.
They don't even watch TV.
They have smartphones and iPads.
Yeah, their iPads and shit.
So
none of those people. It'd be cool if there was action happening like that at a lounge. They all sat around and watched TV. You know,
yeah.
They don't even. That doesn't happen. But I used to see this area in one of my friends' dormitories back in the day.
Yeah.
And they had a lounge area with a TV and a
day room.
Day room, they called it. And we used to watch movies in there.
Yeah.
That was super cool.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, they have one, and on previous episodes, I've seen them watch the big screen that the guests are at. I love the dynamics. I love how the dynamics change. It's why I love this show, is because the servants become pretty much the players, the people that are just out there having a good time.
Guests on the boat.
I've seen them in the guest rooms. I've seen them partying on the guest toys. There's perks to this. It's tempting. I kind of want to get my passport renewed and get out there and do this. I know it's a lot of hard work.
Imagine 18 hours of...
Yeah. Well, I said 18. I think that's more on the higher end.
Yeah, when it gets too busy. Say 15 hours.
You might be right, yeah.
I've worked 15 hours before. I worked 15 hours once.
How was that?
It is the last few hours are incredible, man.
Incomprehensible. At the...
People that put festivals together.
Oh,
that
shit.
That build stages for festivals and stands and what have you.
And did you work with inspectors at all?
No, I didn't run into anyone. But I was just putting tents up. And I was up there for 15 hours and I was taking tents down and stuff. And, man, it was so much. And at the end, it started showing, how slowly I was going, picking up stuff and shit, because I just still didn't know what I was doing.
You're exhausted too.
And I'm tired and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's been I don't know what's going on all day, man. It was annoying.
That's a lot of work. I would hate that.
Yeah, 15 hours of just that shit didn't make no sense. But yeah, on here, man, I got people telling me what to do and stuff.
Yeah.
They're on the boat. They're telling me what the next thing to do is, just make it look shiny. Shine this and
Right.
spraying it down. Not bad, man. Not bad. Tidying up. I mean, not bad, honestly. It's being a hotel worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what we saw here is Adam is really confrontational here. A lot happens.
This is a new episode.
On past seasons, we see people, you're wasted and there's drama and there's stuff happening. People all disperse. There are places on the opposite side of boats you can hang out at.
Holding
you don't,
tight.
Yeah. You don't have to necessarily be...
Take her away.
Next to somebody on these boats.
Take her away, Wiz.
And
sweep her off her feet already.
Adam decides to go into Wes's face. This is a bad time. You guys just got into it. Had it not been for Hannah and Bobby blocking it off, you guys might have killed each other. Somebody might have died right there.
Seriously.
I mean...
Or started hitting each other and got someone.
Yeah.
You guys really throw punches on a show. It's
I don't know.
They did that shit on Jersey Shore. They hit each other.
Sure. I remember that Ronnie guy. Yeah, he hit somebody.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Getting in a fight on the show. That should honestly not take place, especially on a show that's about reality.
Right. It never happened on the real
Or did
world. I don't know. I didn't see all 53 seasons of it. But yeah, so Adam's confrontation. I mean, if they got into a fight, I put my money on Adam because he's got that crazy. Wes is a little bigger. He's got that husky build to him, but Adam's got that dog in him. That fight.
Yeah, basically they're both bums and neither of them know how to fight. And who the hell knows what would happen if two drunk dudes went at it?
Yeah. Yeah, you remember from the beginning, we got introduced to Adam as the guy from California who chose his lifestyle as living in a van, wearing the same underwear for 3 days straight. Basically, he's kind of crazy. Look at his eyes. You can kind of see some crazy there.
I think that after the show is over, they should put a ring together and just make them go 5 rounds, 3 5-minute rounds.
That's a good idea.
With boxing gloves on. And it'll be cool, it'll be quick and simple, and then have it solve all the things. Like, have it be about any of the grievances that they had with each other during the show.
Really?
Like, I couldn't believe that it was such a big deal that while I was hooking up with her, I also chose to give her a higher position.
Ooh.
And then whoever, he has to fight Bobby about it.
He has to fight Bobby about it?
He has to box Bobby.
Bobby would knock him out.
But he got in a fight with... Bobby didn't make it a physical altercation. Adam did. Yeah. So actually, the boxing match would be Wes saying that whatever, Adam was an asshole, and then they box it out in the reunion show.
Oh, it could happen. Put it together, and I have Andy Cohen in the middle, like, all right, guys, hash it out.
Have frickin' Jimmy Conan. Fuck.
Conan O'Brien?
No.
Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, Conan O'Brien.
Okay.
Have him ref it.
Yeah. I love Max's breaking out here because he never did anything dramatic before, other than stick his finger way up his mouth. I don't know why that's on there. This is not a thank you, Nadine. I don't know why we had to see that, but he might.
Hey man, you're on camera. Quit digging in your teeth.
Like he's digging at his back tooth, and he's got his whole finger in the back for that whole scene. It's like Bobby's like, I gave up my career, and then we see Max in the background with his face with his long finger in his throat, like tickling that,
He's still saying stuff. He's like, "Oh, I really don't think you should have did that." And he's still digging in his jaw.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the way it should have happened. Take your finger out of your mouth and express your opinion, man.
He did, but he had to have a few drinks in him first. Everything finally got quiet for a second, and then we see Max's drunk Aussie face pop out from the bedroom, and we see him say, the problem is beds and geezers are messing with each other.
That's right.
It's like a Jack in the Box, but it's a Max in the Box where we see Max's, because he's been drinking. It just took some drinks in him, and we saw him pop out, and he's like, well, the beds and the geezers.
That's how I know that Max isn't a fool. Max knows what's going on. He's not like, even though he's not involved in anything, he's not being swept under the rug. Like, he's still there for all of it happening. So that's how you know, man. He knows what's going on, and he's like, hey, none of this is all dumb, and you guys are all making it weird, basically.
Definitely.
Birds and geezers, though.
Yeah. And then Bugsy had a breakdown. She's like, why did she call me a bird? Because I'm not smart. And,
birds are just chicks.
And Lauren was like, no, bird is what they call women in that part of the world.
Yes, yeah, it is.
And so
there you go. And then they get a ride, and they're off and gone. Or didn't we see this?
Yeah, I'm backing it up because I just want to get a thorough recap here because a lot happened in this episode. It's kind of interesting because I'd like to see more from Lauren. Like, she's capable of so much more than just lighting the fire. She keeps lighting the fires. Like, without Lauren lighting everything up on here, there wouldn't be a whole lot. But I want to see her show some personality, show some character. All she's done is smoke a cigarette or iron the clothes on the ship that she's supposed to iron.
And tell everybody that Million was made up.
Yeah. I mean, time after time.
It's just my favorite when Anna's done telling everybody what to do, and Lauren's like, hey, I'm going to go to the laundry room, okay? She's like, yeah. And then Lauren goes to the laundry room.
Yep. Lauren's little hangout. Lauren's laundry room. Laundry, 25 cents an hour.
There's a lot of laundry to be done. Guest laundry.
Oh, yeah.
You think they do the guest laundry?
Oh, yeah. They sure do. The guests bring so many clothes on board.
Yeah.
It's one thing I notice is they have enough clothing to be like on Gilligan's Island for 14 years.
They wore the same thing on Gilligan's Island, didn't they?
Well, they couldn't. It was a show. They definitely changed. Like Gilligan and the Skipper wore the same thing, but Mr. and Mrs. Howell always had some new stuff. Ginger and Marianne, they always look different. New dress. No one ever asked about that. Like, why is Ginger in a new dress? How did they get there? Why is it
Who's
clean?
doing laundry? Maybe it's Lauren.
Who's hooking up with Ginger? She could probably get Gilligan or the Skipper or even the Professor if she tried hard enough.
There's Adam drinking a Heineken at 6 noon.
Hey, I'm Adam. I'm drinking a Heine. Talking to the girl I could have had if I just kept my mouth shut. Let it happen. She's playing with Wiz.
Bugs doesn't have a boyfriend.
Bugs lays low a little bit too much, too. I understand her grand passed, and that was sad, but before that, she could have come out of her shell a little bit.
I never ended up seeing what happens with Tiffany. That was the first relationship.
We'll see. It's fun.
That was the first relationship I saw.
Yeah.
Her and Brian.
Her and Brian got kind of snugly together, and Ben was acting like it was a high school thing, like it was.
It's true though, man.
No, it's not. He was just using that because he wanted to be with Tiffany. Like he couldn't think of any other reason.
Just bang in the anchor room. Don't bang in somebody's room. That's your
Nobody
room.
was in there. It was just those two.
He was in.
I completely support banging in a room that nobody else is in.
No, if it's somebody else's room, then like
the cum's gonna jump up to the top.
Yes,
somehow.
Yes, regardless. Like I don't want stank in my room.
Oh, you know what that smell? Yeah, sex smells no good. Unless it was you who was making it, right?
No. I'm sorry, just go bang in the anchor room. There's more space.
A laundry room, I think.
No, an anchor, whatever.
Anchor room? I don't know if there is an anchor room.
Dude, there probably is. There has to be.
Maybe.
It's a humongous boat.
So I don't believe in karma, but Adam just spewed some negativity, and while he's running up the stairs, he banged his shins against the stairs.
Pain.
And that is painful. You bang your shins? Oh my god.
I haven't done that in a while, but that shit doesn't.
And that was it, the Jack in the Box.
Yeah, all drunk.
All it took was Malia stating that she was a cute female a third time. At least a third time. We only see her say it 3 times. Like why? If she ever becomes an attorney, that's going to be.
They give him a beer. You see, he didn't have a beer in his hand, and then he has a beer in his hand.
Well, I mean, they're going to have a beer. Their beers are going to be around. Bobby's got a smile on his face the whole time, like he's got a smirk. If you look at his look, he's kind of laughing a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good time.
He's actually happy it's not him going on a tirade like he did on the 2nd or 3rd episode with Hannah. He just went off on her, and it's kind of weird because Hannah really wanted to be with Bobby, and I guess they had a friendship. And I looked up the rules. You can date people that you work with on a ship. There's no rules against it, but you can't date the guests. So the only person here that is wrong when it comes to the rules is Hannah, because she shouldn't be with that Jason guy.
And
she
Danny.
shouldn't. Well, that's a different season. Yeah, we haven't finished that season yet.
But
I was trying to get you motivated with the show,
I was a guest.
And that was interesting how they didn't show the making out. They showed the beginning part where they were about to, and they showed them walking away from the rock.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because then the boat would get shut down.
Yeah, and the first article that went viral from the show ever was, the title was, "Is Below Deck Hurting the Yachting Industry?" And I read it, and I was looking at that, I was thinking to myself, yeah, maybe, but it's also going to draw a lot of young people into it.
Yeah.
There's a very good chance, if I could get my passport re-upped, I will be down in the Caribbean or the Mediterranean. Damn, I'll be in Boston if I could take a cruise out of there. It's cool. I just took a shine to this show, and I've gotten great enjoyment out of it. It's kind of nice to look at what other people are doing, and I even got
Bobby and Hannah make out in this season.
Bobby and Hannah. I don't know. I know on the preview, the thing that shocked me that was a good refresher was when Bugsy looked at Hannah face to face and says, "I don't think you were a good chief stew," and Hannah's like, "Okay," because that is personal, and sometimes that happens at the end of seasons, but mostly it's like a tearful goodbye because. You love and you hate That's how they started off this whole show at the beginning. Was we see how people love together and work together. And that's kind of an interesting dynamic because you do sometimes hate the people you work with, but you don't have to sleep above them in a bunk or below them in a bunk at most other jobs.
Yeah, that really brings a different aspect to the work environment. It's a different work environment.
Yeah.
Not everybody goes home at night and just like sees each other less. You are on a tour with these people on a boat. You're all mates. You're all deckhands.
Yeah.
So it oughta feel like that. You know, being on a boat is something that humans have done for a really long time.
Right.
But reality television is not.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Think people would watch a show about people being really nice to each other? A healthy work environment?
there has been a few episodes where people have been chummy. The second and third season, it's like we see people working together, it's chummy, and there's a little drama, but there's not a big draw to watch this show. So I noticed from the Med first season on here, there was a huge upswing in drama. And when I met Ben Robinson, who's a chef, he was a chef on the first 3 or 4 seasons at the Caribbean. There was some drama that played out, and they actually needed to bring him back. I think it was the 3rd season, but I met him right after they did the 2nd season in Fort Lauderdale. I saw him at a little gyro shop, or hero shop. Gyro. And I saw him sitting there alone eating this greasy thing. It looked like a greasy burger or something. It just was by chance, because I'd been telling my friend about this show, and I said, yeah, you know, Fort Lauderdale is where some of these people are based. And there was Ben sitting there. So I killed our complimentary bottle of wine. They gave us a bottle of wine at the hotel, and my friend decided he wasn't drinking, so I was a little bit lit up. And so I walked over to Ben, and I'm like, Ben, you're Ben. And he's like, yeah. Of course, I probably look like a little kid in a candy store. I was like, I got some questions for you. And he's like, all right. And I'm like, how much of it is real? And he's like, well, he's like, well, you know, most of it's real, but there's a couple times when nothing's happening where they'll encourage us to interact with each other
In a way that they normally wouldn't.
Well, I don't know if he said that, but he just said there was encouragement to react, because naturally, if there was no producer standing there telling them to do, you know, to act or whatever, it would be nothing. The whole show would be yes sir, no sir, you're the captain, goodbye, and it, you know, nobody would want to watch it, but they throw some fire into it, and that's the appeal that's brought me to it. You know, just kind of watching, and I don't care how much of it is what, you know, is scripted or whatever, but the things that are real are the things I like the best. I love the boat. I love just seeing all the surprises on how the boat is, the little secret things that they have on the boat, things that you wouldn't normally know about, seeing where the millionaires play out at sea. Some of these great landscapes. The Caribbean are my favorite. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool just to check it out.
There's that Jim B.
Lauren is really cool. I think she'd be a cool chick to hang out with. Yeah, I guess you could say I kind of have a thing for Lauren. The guys all want Malia, but there's something really sexy about Lauren that I like. So if you like Lauren, give me a shout out. If you're hearing this podcast for some reason, if you went back in time to this podcast, even though a few months from now we'll probably have, just like other podcasters, we'll probably have like 1,000 podcasts. We'll be doing our 1,000th podcast from New York or something.
Maybe we should ask her out on the 1,000th.
I'm telling you right now, Lauren.
That's why we're starting the podcast, is so Larry and Lauren can happen.
Lauren and Lawrence. Do I hear wedding bells? Yeah, I don't think we'd be compatible, because I've dated a high maintenance girl, and yeah, the girl was here living with me, and it was crazy. She flew here from Florida to try to make something work with me, and I'm not used to the high maintenance chick. I'm not used to the girl that starts drama out of nothing, and you have to maintain it. You have to pay attention to her in such a way that it's like, yes, you have some kind of problem with something that's abstract, and yes, I have to solve it. I mean, not solve it, that's the thing. Yes, I have to acknowledge the problem without solving it, and kind of just keep talking about the same thing over and over again. I wasn't good at that, and I was just used to two really easy relationships. I had a girl, Julie, who was really cool. She was easy to talk to and get along with when I lived in South Dakota. And then I had this girl, Teresa, when I was in Daytona Beach, who just was heaven on earth. It just easy maintenance and everything. And
This is the Swingers episode.
it sure is.
With Queen Q. What's her name? Oh man, you gotta remember the
Miss
other
Peacock.
name. Miss Peacock? Something else? Wester Chesterton or something like that?
Colonel Mustard.
What was the name?
You know what I like? I like how Adam comes full circle with the chefing thing because he got really complacent making soup for people.
Yeah.
And when they did that montage of the soup where he's like, they're handing out the different soups.
Yeah.
Now in this episode, we see Adam actually make cuisine. He's making sushi. Now that's cool. That's not something everybody could just do right off the bat. You know, that takes some skill. Like I'm saying, an 8-year-old can make soup.
Yeah.
You put it in the microwave and you hit
You boil it. And
start.
Yeah. There's soup for you. Oh, 1:40 p.m. They're out and about, killing it, enjoying the sunlight. Floppy sun hats everywhere, taking camera shots. I wonder what they're doing. Oh, yep, clearing them, putting them one down right there. Martinis.
There's a lot of hidden messages in here when they have titles on the bottom. Like when Malia first became a lead deckhand, it's like they did it flickered on there like it was a Las Vegas sign. It was like lead deckhand Malia. I was like, wow. Like I noticed that. I don't think anybody else would notice that, but I noticed stupid little things like that.
I didn't even see it.
And they're
They're putting away their clothes.
Yeah.
They're putting away their clothes. Like, dude, I don't want anybody putting away my stuff because then I don't know where any of my stuff is. It's basically like, oh, could you put away my stuff? What do you mean put away your stuff? Like,
Yeah.
where do you want me to put it?
When I first got on my cruise, I booked us a cruise. It was a get over Chris's divorce cruise, and he'd be cool with it. I've known him for 13 years now. He'd be cool with it, like whatever. He makes videos on YouTube. His last video cracked me up. He went through he posted it. He went through his mom's bedroom and was like going through drawers, and he's like trying to convince her that she needs to get rid of these old clothes. It was just funny. And then you hear her voice in the background. She's like, Chris, what are you doing in there? And he's like, I'm showing everybody what a order looks like. And we hear his mom respond, I don't give permission for this video to be posted on YouTube. And he's like,
Serious, man.
he's like, don't worry about it.
Shut it down. Take him to court.
He was aggressive too, but I mean, he's trying to show something that he notices
That nice coat she just got on,
for their 75-degree weather.
she still had to have a coat.
Yeah.
It's nice, man.
This blonde woman reminds me of a woman who needs something special in her Starbucks. Soy, non-fat latte
The
with
more
no
stuff you get in
foam.
the cup, the more ridiculous it's gonna taste. If you want it to taste out otherworldly, like,
Yeah.
get as much shit as you want in there.
Yeah.
Honestly, they should only serve coffee. Oh, some soup and salad. I said it. Make a salad with a soup.
You're
it
right.
makes the soup look better. It's just soup and bread. Then there better be some damn good bread.
Hell yeah.
I like soup.
Charge.
He's like taking a small bag and putting it into some crevice in a wall. Sorry, go ahead.
Bobby's not even supposed to be in there. I don't know if he's being nice or if he was asked to do this, but he just looks like a fish out of water.
Yeah. How many people does it take to put 5 people's luggage away? Just have one person do it for a really long time. Yeah, man, I don't know. I would love this show to be about working and making it look easy and like having the people be so fresh in their environment to where their work is natural and stuff like that. Like, that'd be fun to watch. That's quality television is what I always think. Aside from people struggling and being stressed and stuff like that, what kind of television is that? And like, that's mostly what all television is people getting in all these altercations or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of like getting along just well and being understanding to each other. Just being regular humans. Like, they're just like this alpha, like really, on edge type heading, and that stuff is just not fun to watch for me.
I hear you.
I wonder what they're gonna have for lunch.
What is your commentary on Adam's bass hat? Got a bass on the front.
Yeah, that's it's clean.
That's what's up, dude.
It's good at it.
Max is like, I'm out of here. You can't catch no drama from me. I like how Malia laughs. She's got a nice smile, nice laugh. And what Hannah said, it sounds kind of weird what she said, but I kind of thought the same thing before she said it. I'm like, some girls are really friendly and nice, and they might exude that they're flirting with you and not even know it. You know, when Hannah and Malia. So this guy was just wishing that somebody would notice his pecs. I noticed that when I saw this, I was like, and Bugsy's like, nope, walking through. He's like, well, you haven't looked at my pecs yet. Bugs.
Or his traps. See how his traps are just holding themselves?
Yeah.
Like, up and at. He probably did push-ups. The guy probably does push-ups before he leaves his house.
He's just walking around in circles. She looks uneasy.
It's always cool to get a body pump before going to a party.
Body pump. Oh, pump it up, yeah. Where do these swingers meet?
Guy, dude.
Yeah, well, she's just being nice. It's awkward. It's just really awkward.
I don't know, man. Seems like she's enjoying it.
I want to know who's in the water filming that stuff. Do they have divers that, like, 1 or 2 divers that are watching it the whole time?
Yep.
Even at night, they're just under there, like, can we come up yet? No. Nadine's like, no. Stay down there. Leah is a cutie, though. I love how, I don't want to drool on this podcast, but she is cute. Things are in the right spot there. She's got, like, a really tight butt. Her thighs are super tight. Her skin. I noticed her skin early on.
Drools, dude.
I don't want
Pick up your jaw. Let's get back to work, dude. Good movie.
But I want to see how they end this. I think they grilled Hannah. They after Jason and Hannah got into it, they were grilling Captain Sandy about who stayed on the ship, and Sandy was being really honest, you know, on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and they said, does Hannah make it throughout the whole charter? And Captain Sandy says, yep.
Oh, look, this one, they get in the fight, because Bobby disobeys Malia.
Bobby needs to close his mouth. He's got his mouth open like Gomer Pyle.
Like Bugsy's back on Pecs, man.
Look at my pectorals. I worked them out 4 hours today. Do you notice how much further out they extend? Adam cutting up the quintessential onion. Adam Onion. What's his name?
Adam got to start growing his own onions. Spiteful onions.
He's probably got a little onion cabinet underneath. He loves to put them in things. You're gonna like open a cabinet and see like a little onion forest growing in a cabinet.
You think that's how strongly he feels about onions? That's why when that lady was coming up talking about no onions, he was like, I can't believe that.
I love my onions. Nobody.
Super fancy tuxedos.
I mean, they might as well.
The table setup is.
You haven't seen Kate on here. Kate was in the first 4 or 5 seasons of this show, and Kate said that a lot of people on the show can't afford stuff like this. The only person who can afford it is a person that put up the money. They bring their friends, and the way Kate described it early on was some people just have to milk it for all it's worth, and they will torture the crew. You don't see it happening now, but at the beginning episodes, the guests were literally, how much can we get away with? And especially since they're on camera, they're like, how much stupid requests can we make? Because they can't say no. And they took a lot of abuse, you know? And the crazier the requests, the bigger the tip at the end once you've done that.
And he makes gumbo.
I will sing for gumbo. Oh, am I not supposed to sing? I probably shouldn't sing. I might kill a cat. Cat might roll over and die. Animal friendly at Loungtastic. Except for the fish they're eating. They're very augmented women. Like, there's a limit. This is where Bobby's like, hey, did you ever look at your balls when you're taking a shit? And Max is like, no. And Max is like, no, I'm looking forward when I'm taking a shit. And Bobby's like, well, if you look at them, they're blue. And Max is like, oh yeah? And Bobby's like, mine are blue now, too.
I always like watching the chefs make cake.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It looks daunting. I would not want to be that chef.
I haven't had coconut cake in so long.
Coconut's a laxative.
Nice.
After they swing, they're going to be...
They're going to be pooping. They should probably poop first.
Definitely.
Or, whatever, like, just... Yeah, you should definitely poop first.
Oh, that's a birthday cake, I guess. Maybe anniversary. I can't remember. Doesn't say it. See, now Adam looks like a damn chef. He's got the proper clothing on. His hair is out.
Oh, it's strawberry chiffon cake.
Ooh. Let me hear about your strawberry. Can I hear you say strawberry? Nobody noticed my pectorals today.
Oh, and this is when they get down.
This is weird. You have to pay attention to the doors here, because this is like, let's make a deal when they open the curtain, but then the curtain closes, and you know what I mean? Like they're going to different places. So door
it's
left.
camera. The lady's like, wow, they have cameras on us.
Door right. She goes into door right. He comes out of door left. He comes into door right. Bugsy's noticing she should be paying attention to her glasses. She goes back in there with him. She goes back in there with her and him. From what we're led to believe here, it looks like Captain Sandy's fucked up on this. Like, sometimes they make it look like the captain's doing wrong. I want to think the captain's all right, but here they're almost done with the anchor, and then Captain Sandy says, "Hey, get your head out of there, move to the front of the boat," even though they're like a second away from being done with the anchor. So that was kind of weird. I don't know why that happened. So Bobby had to finish up pulling the anchor up. So now Malia's up at the front. She's lead deckhand, so I guess that's what lead deckhand does. Which she has to do something. She has to guide something up front. And I found it weird that the captain is short, and you can see Malia's short. They're pretty short people on there, and the captain's looking out the glass over the dashboard of the ship. And Malia's standing up straight, giving signals, and the captain's like, "What's going on? I don't see what's going on. I don't see ya." So then Malia comes around, and Captain Sandy's like, goes up to Wes and is like, "Wes, you're just gonna have to sleep with someone a little taller than Malia, because I can't see her. She's standing up straight, and I just can't see the hand signals." And the captain's trying to find a solution here. So the captain's like, "Why don't you have Bobby go out there on the bow of the ship, lay down, and have Malia stand on Bobby so I could see her?" These guys are interesting. I don't think that's real hair. That looks like a wig to me. What do you think?
Oh, she could have just some nice hair.
It just looks too perfect. There's no errors. There's no hairs flying in the wind. Here's money I pulled out of my ass.
Money
in my ass.
Money on my ass.
What a shitty way to leave a ship. Out in the rain. At least I had a
brothers.
Yeah. I haven't cried during this show, but when I watched the entire second and third season, I remember because they all got really close, and I got intertwined with the people. Especially in the third season, they really got close. And I remember when they were leaving, it was really sad. And it was kind of a dreary situation. It's just moisture in the air, and it had accumulated under my eyes. That's all that had happened, I swear. I mean, that's some big-time cash, man. I mean, you can't scoff at $2,000 or $3,000. Or what was in this case? I think they all made $1,300 each. For 2 days, that's not too bad. That's $650 per person per day.
Mm-hmm.
So, that ain't too bad. That's like I think that's what a foreman makes at a construction site per day. I'm just gonna leave this whole thing raw. I'm not even gonna edit it.
All right.
All our little noises that we make and everything. It's gotta be real, dog. It's gotta be real.
We bring it real here.
What was Bobby upset about now?
No, it's Malia talking about how he's disobeying her. Because Malia told him to do something one way. And Bobby was like, "I'm gonna just do it another way."
That's right, you remember that good memory.
And Malia's like, Boogie Wonderland.
Nice. We'll start doing video podcasts in a minute. You ever tune in to Adam Carolla? Just because I think he's on Facebook Mentions. When somebody's on Facebook Mentions, you see them even when you're not subscribed to them. Because I've had people roll across my screen I have no interest in seeing, but because they're a celebrity, they get on Facebook first. Facebook wants them to be exposed to a bigger crowd. I think they probably got that from Twitter. I've noticed Twitter. If you notice on Twitter, when you log into the main homepage, you'll see the stuff that everybody's most interested in. What's trending. Leah's right. If she's lead deckhand, you got to listen to her ass. You don't have to like her, but
the easiest thing you can do is just listen to.
Yeah. And you know what? Since Wes made her lead deckhand, if she fluffs everything up, then it's on Wes, because Wes did that shit. So let her do that. You know, if Malia tells you to tie a rope like this,
when they're drinking.
I don't know. So
I was thinking about it, and it's like people say to relax your throat, but whenever I do that, I just feel like that's the part of my throat that air is supposed to go in.
Yeah.
Or I think so.
Random girl.
Look at Wes, that's right. They see cameras, bro. Like, when there's cameras around.
Last time we watched this, I was a little liquored up, and I thought that girl was attractive. And now I'm watching it like, what was I?
Where'd she go?
I was drinking whiskey. Well, she pops up again. She's like, pop goes the weasel. He's got the bass hat again. He's sweating into that. The chef sweat. You know he had to sweat into that while he's cooking.
It's true. I wear hats to sweat into them.
Look, there's no air holes on that. Well, if they are, they're really small. Did you ever buy a hat from Lids, like those stores in the mall?
I've been to Lids probably like 5 times. Yeah. I think the last time I went to a Lids, I bought 2 hats because they were having a buy one get one, and the hat was $30 though, regardless.
Oh my god!
So I got 2 hats. I lost both those hats like within the same year.
Part of my memories of being little was just seeing those Lid stores, and it was part of my childhood. And we couldn't afford hats, but I remember seeing those. And I wanted it just because it looked cool. I'm like, that looks cool. Cool hat.
Definitely.
So we see Hannah come out again. It's interesting.
We're gonna go fucking. We're gonna poke it out right now.
Hannah gets this way when she drinks. She falls on any guy that's near, guy or girl. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, it could get her in trouble later, but just kind of interesting how she flips, how she goes from Chief Stew to, God, I don't want to call her any names, but she is just kind of loose, you know. Cigarettes come out, which is actually a major turnoff to me. Like, when I see chicks that smoke, I don't want to taste that tobacco stuff. That's just me.
Oh.
The Lawrence dating show.
Yeah, did you see him spill vodka right there?
You fucking dick. Lick it.
That's $41 worth of vodka.
You might be right. You might be right. I remember at the Christmas party.
Oh, so much vodka.
I don't want to admit to the Christmas party. Hey, what happened in there stays there.
I don't know if I'm ever going to get any better at drinking.
Look how hard she's trying. I want to kiss those fucking lips.
That's right, dude. Hey, they dipped up. They're not around anybody anymore, which is cool, man. It's cool. It's a big city.
She's got some nice flirty moves. Look at her move.
That's a nice flirty move right there. You know what, man?
Yeah. What's up?
She just made it obvious, and Adam was like, "No, I don't know."
Yeah. Well, Adam's got his mind on Malia.
Oh, there's another one.
Who's that girl?
Hey, what are you guys doing?
She looks like an emo chick.
She's very casual.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, she'll still walk up to the show and see what's going on. I see, look, you came back to the club.
I forget what he says here, but it's extra douchey.
We're gonna go fucking.
Oh no, I remember what he said. He said, I thought you were a really cool girl. No, on second thought, you're not a cool girl.
Duh.
And I'm gonna go fuck this girl.
Haha, I got her.
Did Bugs just kiss Max?
Oh, I don't know.
As they were zooming in on Malia?
Oh, she is.
I don't know what's up with that girl. She seems a little bit heavy on, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
A little heavy. I mean, you know, just heavy on the flirting, heavy on the liquor. I wish Lauren would wear some lady pants because I want to see her NFL cheerleader butt. Because, I mean, she's got to have a nice butt. Bugs was like, just don't think you... How does he sound? I just don't think you are a great Chief Stew.
Oh,
And then Bobby's
Bobby
kissing
hooks
the
up with
guest.
a guest, man. I forgot about that.
Yeah. You had to point that out to me because I was like, oh, that's Bobby. That is Bobby.
Big deal.
And then fucking
Booms.
here's the text. That same night that he
made out with her.
her.
Dude, I would, if I was Wes, I wouldn't even care. I'd be like, wow, she sent you those texts and she still made out with me. Like,
All right.
yeah, that's the way it goes, man. She changed her mind. Yeah, it's the name of the game player.
Don't forget to check us out at Loungtastic.com. I'm Lawrence, signing off.
Yeah, I guess signing off. Oh, yeah, good show.
Mo, what do you think was your favorite scene in this whole episode?
Man, when Malia and Bobby got mad at each other. Just seeing Malia like do finger guns and like point in the air was good.
We had a lot of fun today. Expect a lot more fun from us. Thanks for listening to our first podcast. We really love the support and love our fans give us. If you have a minute, check us out on iTunes and leave a review. And if you don't want to do that, maybe next time you're talking to your friends about a similar subject, you could mention that you had fun tuning into the Loungtastic podcast, and we could get a fun interactive community going on. Spreading the word really helps us grow, and it means the world to us. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. At Instagram, we're at Loungtastic. On Twitter, we're at Loungtastic.
If you have a minute, check us out on iTunes, leave us a review. And if you don't want to do that, maybe next time you're talking to your friends about similar subjects, you can mention that you have fun tuning in Loungtastic podcast, and we can get a fun interactive community going on. Really, thank you guys so much. We appreciate the support. And if you don't want to do any of those things, it's okay. We're really happy you're listening. Thank you.